Good evening from Washington. I'm Mehdi Hassan in for Chris Hayes. Tomorrow, the House is back in session following a lengthy summer recess. And Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy faces a new round of headaches, including a looming government shutdown and a renewed push from some of the most extreme members of his conference to impeach President Joe Biden for something. They haven't quite figured that part out yet. If you want to understand just how ridiculous and cynical this impeachment attempt is, let me introduce you to Republican Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado. If you've been following American politics for a long time, you might remember that name. Buck first became notorious during a race for Senate back in 2010 when he made these comments about his primary opponent, Republican Lieutenant Governor Jane Norton.
I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'd love to answer some questions, but I'm not going to give my canned speech for the fourth turn today. Good. Yes?
Why should we vote for you?
Why should you vote for me? Because I do not wear high heels.
In other words, vote for me because I'm not a woman. Buck managed to lose that Senate race in a competitive seat, even amid the 2010 Tea Party wave that provided massive gains for his party. But he got himself elected to a House seat 4 years later, where he made a name for himself as one of the most conservative members of his party. Buck is a member of the far-right Freedom Caucus. He said he opposes abortion, even in cases of rape or incest. He said of COVID safety mitigations, quote, "We went like lambs to the slaughter," and he was one of a handful of votes against the first round of emergency COVID funding under Trump at the very start of the pandemic. So Buck is hardly a liberal, though he's not always in lockstep with the extremists in his own party either. And here is what Ken Buck had to say about the push by some of his Republican colleagues, including Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, to impeach President Biden.
The time for impeachment is the time when there's evidence linking President Biden, if there's evidence linking President Biden to a high crime or misdemeanor. That doesn't exist right now, and it isn't really something that we can say, well, in February we're going to do this. It's based on the facts. You go where the facts take you.
Even the no high heels guy thinks impeaching Biden is the wrong move. And over on the Senate side, there is not much enthusiasm either. Republican Senators Shelley Moore Capito, Mitt Romney, Jerry Moran, Mike Rounds, Mitch McConnell, and even the extremely MAGA Tommy Tuberville have all thrown water on the idea of impeaching Biden before the 2024 election. Privately, they may even agree with their Democratic colleague, Senator John Fetterman, who had a particularly, shall we say, colourful metaphor for the losing politics of impeachment.
Go ahead, do it. I dare you. You know, if you can find the votes, go ahead. You're going to lose. It would just be like a big circle jerk on the fringe, right? Sometimes you just gotta call their bullshit. If they're going to threaten, then they'll see it.
Nevertheless, Speaker McCarthy is still controlled by MAGA extremists in his party, and so it looks like he is pushing ahead with impeachment anyway. His top advisor, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is demanding it, going so far as to split with her former MAGA ally, Lauren Boebert, over who wants to impeach Biden more. Recently, Greene tried to downplay how extreme impeaching President Biden would be, saying, quote, "It's just an inquiry. It's like, may we ask the question? Let's take a little peek, just a little peeky peek." Peeky peek. I'm old enough to remember how Marjorie Taylor Greene characterized the last impeachment of Donald Trump.
As we go through watching this scam impeachment trial where you know what really is on trial, everyone, it's freedom of speech. They don't want you to have your freedom of speech. They want to cancel you out because it's your speech that's the greatest threat to them, just like my speech is the greatest threat to them, just like President Trump's speech is the greatest threat to them. That is what is on trial this week in the Senate.
But I guess now trying to impeach a president is just a peeky peek. And I must ask, is this really how House Republicans want to use their narrow majority, especially considering a lot of analysts believe they could lose the chamber next year? Didn't they pledge to do something about inflation, gas prices, the cost of living? Instead, all we are getting is infighting about a doomed impeachment inquiry and pointless messaging bills that are dead on arrival in the Democratic-led Senate, like a Parents' Bill of Rights and a bill prohibiting the government from banning gas stoves. No one's trying to ban gas stoves. It's governance by way of Fox opinion programming, and it has made this Congress one of the least productive ever. As Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin said in a statement today, quote, By August 2021, in the first 6 months of the 117th Congress, House Democrats had helped kickstart our nation's economy with the American Rescue Plan and passed a budget with historic investments in working families. We went on to pass legislation to reduce drug and energy costs, address the climate crisis, bring jobs back to America, and rebuild our country's infrastructure with groundbreaking laws like the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. By contrast, the first MAGA-directed Congress is by far the most reckless and least productive in decades. Congressman Raskin is right. These MAGA Republicans don't actually care about accomplishing anything. They're all just constantly auditioning for guest spots on Hannity or Ingram. And their latest cynical, ridiculous, doomed impeachment push is just the latest proof of that.